Hello again, everyone. It's good seeing you, and welcome to Friday's edition of Alaska Weather, 26th day of March, 2021. I'm Dave Percy, meteorologist with the National Weather Service, and I'll be hosting today's show. Up first, hazardous weather graphic. We've got a winter storm watch out for St. Lawrence Island and the Bering Strait coast, and that's for watch. Of course, that's probably a ways out there, which it is. It goes into effect late Saturday night and continues through Sunday and through Sunday night. And that's for pretty good storms going to be pushing in from the southwest to northeast across the northern Bering Sea late Saturday night and through Sunday. Expected to bring, at this point in time, it's out for heavy wind, snow, blowing snow, and amounts of 4 to 6 inches are possible there. Again, St. Lawrence Island, Bering Strait coast, and possibly as high as 8 inches with winds gusting to 50 miles an hour. That'll create whiteout conditions in blowing snow. Just a watch at this time, may become a warning by tomorrow though. And elsewhere, advisory, watch, and warning free everywhere across the state. That's the only watch out in the state. And so looking pretty good here. Satellite imagery, this is the visible. So starting out kind of dark there in the first one, sun's still too low, but comes up, shows the clearing areas quite vividly. Kenai Peninsula, Cook Inlet, Madawaska Valley, Copper River Basin, and just about areas south and east of the Alaska Range. Pretty good conditions there. Kodiak Island, mostly sunny. Some clouds over the Barren Islands there with the west-northwest winds coming out through the Kamishak Gap there across Kamishak Bay. And mostly sunny south of the Alaska Peninsula, Bristol Bay, mostly sunny there. Even on the north side of the peninsula, pretty good conditions. A few more clouds out toward the eastern Aleutians, so not too bad. And then pretty solid clouds there from about Adak westward to Shiminatu and the Komodorskis. And actually that's that solid area clouds from the western Aleutians south and southwestward. That's the Cirrus Shield with the next storm that's already developed. Can be pushing up there during the night tonight and into the western Bering tomorrow afternoon. Otherwise, cold upper low that dropped out of the Russian Far East is pushing eastward there. And you can see that as the spin just west-southwest of St. Matthew Island. It's a little farther to the east now. And that's already kicked the winds up, gusting 45 miles an hour out of the west over the Pribilof Islands this afternoon with snow showers. Temperature is about 34 degrees at St. George. So just above freezing, definitely cold enough for snow, with snowfall levels down to sea level there over much of the Bering Sea. And a band of snow just south of St. Lawrence Island along the southwest coast of Nunivak Island, with scattered rain and snow showers, Alaska Peninsula, real light rain, or very light snow changed to very light rain at Cold Bay this afternoon. There's really more of a showery condition there. Some sunshine, winds about 20-25 miles an hour across the peninsula. And north winds, Seward gusting to about 25 miles an hour or so, and maybe 25 to 30 there through West Passage Canal. But temperatures not too bad, up definitely into the mid to upper 30s in those areas, with some sunshine today. And then precipitation over the heaviest over the southern panhandle, with that band of moisture that stretches from the southeast coast, Dixon Entrance, all the way down to off the picture there. It actually links up with the next storm system that'll be rolling up to the northeast. And amounts weren't all that heavy. In the last 12 hours, about 1/4 inch falling of rain at Klawock and Ketchikan, as well as Gustavus had about 1/4 inch as well. They had a little closer to 3/10 inch. And Juneau picked up just under 1/10 inch of light rain today, as moisture on the increase there with that frontal boundary that's mostly bringing the heaviest precipitation to the southern panhandle. Weak low in the Gulf of Alaska, really not doing too much except creating offshore flow, drier flow over the Kenai Peninsula, Cook Inlet area, as well as Kodiak Island. Snow showers hung up in the Aleutian Range due to the upslope conditions there, that westerly flow. And again, a mixture of light precipitation there for the western Alaska Peninsula, and even less in the way of any shower activity for the eastern Aleutians that ends for Adak and Atka. And then next system, you can see right on the edge of the chart there, beginning to push northeastward. They're coming up over the top of that 1,035 millibar high south of the central Aleutians, and then the low center tracking eastward over the northern Bering Sea, bringing the snow into the southwest coast, and snow showers there from Norton Sound, southern Seward Peninsula, down into Bristol Bay, into the interior, weak trough again, brought a couple inches of snow to the Yukon Flats. Chuck Yitzhak had anywhere from 1 to 2 inches of snow in the last 12 hours, and probably similar amounts elsewhere in the Yukon Flats there. Maybe the northern Koyukuk Valley, but that was really light, light winds, North Slope, Arctic coast, down to Kotzebue Sound and the northwest coast. And for tonight, chance of snow showers, mostly southwest Kodiak Islands, kind of a trough swings down with that system moving inland. Makes a pretty good jog to the east there, right into the northern Kuskokwim Valley, that low center. And that another trough brings another round of enhanced snow showers, gusty winds, a little colder temperatures there. Togiak Bay out toward the Pribilofs, but the entire pattern shifting eastward, the ridge coming eastward ahead of the storm over the western Aleutians, western bearing. So winds will be coming down and become light for the Pribilofs, with snow showers ending later this evening. Chance of snow showers, Fox Islands, light winds, probably nothing at all after midnight. And that's next low drives right up off the central coast by tomorrow morning. So winds will be on the increase over the southern panhandle with rain and snow. Warmer temperatures coming up with the warm front there. Staying in snow higher elevations, of course, so over the inland areas and up to the north, and periods of light snow for the North Gulf Coast, with some snow showers extending from the southern Brooks Range, eastern part of the southeastern Brooks Range, I'll call it, across the Yukon Flats, and into that low becomes a little more widespread, maybe 1 to 2 inches in some areas. Other locations will see less, and some of the more mountainous locations might see a little bit more, but nothing too heavy. And pretty good for St. Lawrence Island, Bering Strait, because that ridge moves in and out, continue through tomorrow, Saturday, and you can see gale and storm force winds coming into the western and central Aleutians during the day tomorrow, with rain, south flow, warmer temperatures behind that warm front, and again, but fair skies, sunshine, eastern Aleutians, Alaska Peninsula, light winds along the west coast all the way up to the Arctic coast. And areas of light snow continue. Snow showers there over the eastern interior, mostly north of the Alaska Range. Could be some light snow showers possibly with that system tracking eastward, mostly aloft, just diving down across Kodiak there, and that'll kick the winds up once it pulls off to the east. We're looking at pretty gusty winds there for Kodiak Island, as well as Kamishak Bay and across the Aleutian Range. Starting to diminish tomorrow evening, and look for an increase in the winds, also passes of the Alaska Range. And rain and snow tries to become a little more showery tomorrow afternoon, with the front pushing eastward, and then much improved conditions for the Panhandle on later Saturday night and Sunday. Really drying out there, maybe an entirely dry day there for the entire southeast coast for, maybe one day in a row. But it should be become mostly sunny, most areas there, light winds, and sunshine from the Gulf of Alaska, Prince William Sound, eastern interior, up to the North Slope, Arctic coast looking good. Snow blowing snow in the increase, as I mentioned, northern Bering Sea, St. Lawrence Island, even into the lower Yukon River Valley area, and maybe the Delta, but rain and snow, warmer temperatures, eastern Aleutians, right up into the southwest interior, southern Kuskokwim Valley. And the lows tonight, 30s for the Panhandle, to near 40 for the lows down south, and 5 to 15 south central Alaska, around 10 for the Copper River Basin, near 20 Bristol Bay, upper 20s Kodiak Island, and about 12 for McGrath. Tanana Valley, central interior, right around 0 either side. And then from there northward, below 0, anywhere from 20 to 35 below for the North Slope, out to the Arctic coast, below 0 St. Lawrence Island. Single numbers, Yukon Delta coast down to Macoriac, and upper 20s for the Pribilofs, lower to mid 30s for the Aleutians. Highs tomorrow, upper 20s, lower 30s, south central Alaska, mid 20s, Copper River Basin, upper 20s, lower 30s, Bristol Bay, mid 30s, Kodiak, 40s for the Panhandle. Up north, upper teens to mid 20s for the Tanana Valley. Below 0, Brooks Range to the Arctic coast, and right around 0 for the Seward Peninsula, to above about 8 for St. Lawrence Island, above freezing for the Pribilofs, lower to mid 40s Aleutians, mid 30s, mid to upper 30s Alaska Peninsula. Lows Sunday morning, low below 0 for the Copper River Basin, 5 below to 15 above South Central Alaska, upper 20s Kodiak Island, and upper 20s to mid 30s for the Panhandle, give or take, upper 20s Kodiak Island, down around 10 for Bristol Bay. Below 0, Tanana Valley to the Arctic coast. A little above for St. Lawrence Island, upper 30s there for the Aleutians. Highs in the afternoon, Sunday, upper 20s to mid 30s South Central Alaska, 40s, 45 for the Panhandle, lower 40s Kodiak Island. Up north, upper teens to lower 20s for the Tanana Valley, below 0 for the...
And now, aviation weather around Alaska.
First flying weather graphic Saturday morning. A lot of IFR in the interior from the southwest coast over to the eastern border and up into the Brooks Range, spilling over to the north slope a little bit. North slope, central eastern Arctic coast, marginal VFR. Some VFR for the northwest coast, Noatak Valley, Point Lay on down to Kivalina. Bering Strait, VFR to St. Lawrence Island, Pribilos, maybe VFR, as well as central Aleutians. More IFR with the next system coming in there just to the west. And then for the Panhandle, IFR, marginal for the Gulf, South Central Alaska, Kenai Peninsula, Kodiak, marginal VFR. Afternoon, lose the IFR just about completely almost there over the interior Alaska. And the Panhandle still over toward the eastern border there on down toward Dixon Entrance, some IFR. But VFR in the increase, northern Bering Sea, Yukon Delta, along the river there, and then as the river turns eastward, get into the marginal VFR on up to the flats over toward the border actually, eastern Brooks Range marginal, North Slope Arctic Coast VFR there, all the way down to the northern Seward Peninsula, Bristol Bay VFR, some marginal VFR on the Bering Sea side of the peninsula. Not bad though for the Alaska Peninsula, eastern Aleutians all the way out to Atka, and marginal for the Pribilos. IFR in the increase, expanding there over the western Aleutians, just west of Adak and the southwest and western Bering Sea. Kodiak Island VFR, and that'll hold through Sunday morning, as well as south central Alaska. Just about everywhere south and east of the Alaska Range will be VFR. Eastward there to Elfin Cove, Yakutat, and Lynn Canal, though, marginal, and much of there southward will be marginal VFR. So some IFR from roughly Petersburg down to Stewart and Hyder, and VFR for the Gulf of Alaska. Band of IFR now with that front pushing eastward across the Bering Sea to Atka Island, increasing marginal VFR for the eastern Aleutians. And then for Sunday afternoon, IFR just pushes northeastward there from St. Lawrence Island up across Seward Peninsula and into the lower Yukon River Valley area, covering both the Yukon-Kuskokwim deltas down to Dillingham, Togiak Bay IFR. Some of that will cross the northern Kuskokwim Valley IFR. That actually jumps the Alaska Range into western Cook Inlet there. But for the most part, it's to sit in the valley, down across Cook Inlet to northern Kodiak Island, Fognak Island, VFR, eastward across Copper River Basin, North Gulf Coast, Prince William Sound, most of the Panhandle VFR, and the eastern interior, some marginal VFR lingering there. Upper Tanana Valley 40-mile country to Yukon River, and just on the southern slopes of the Central Brooks Range. For Anatuvik, IFR becoming VFR tomorrow. Pretty good good improvement for Adigan as well, starting out IFR and then VFR probably by afternoon. Lake Clark and Merrill, IFR improving to marginal VFR during the morning hours, and IFR for rainy morning hours, marginal VFR late morning through the afternoon. Windy, marginal VFR the entire day, but the northern entrance starting out IFR will become marginal. And for Isabel, IFR to marginal, and same trend for Mentasta, IFR to start, marginal VFR through the afternoon. Tanita, a little better, marginal to VFR during the morning hours through the afternoon for the VFR. And Portage, same thing, early on marginal VFR, otherwise VFR, pretty good for Portage past tomorrow. And Chilkoot and White, IFR becoming marginal. For the freezing levels, kind of a gradient showing up now over the Aleutians there, with the jet stream farther to the north, 2,000 to 4,000 feet. North side of the Aleutians, 6,000 to 8,000 feet just south of them, and 2,000 feet in over the southern Panhandle. Icing, two solid areas here of areas of considerable moderate rime. They're pushing across the central and southern Panhandle during the day tomorrow, and by afternoon to about these positions. The next system coming in from the west, dragging some icing across the western and western Aleutians to about Adak late in the day and almost to the Pribilofs. Jet stream there showing the southwest flow ahead of the next system there off Kamchatka, ridging ahead of that. Northwest, pretty strong, 130 knot westerlies across St. Lawrence Island, 165 to 180 knots there from southwest interior across Kodiak Island. Westerlies at about 100 knots across Dixon Entrance, lighter as you go north. 9,000 feet, 85 knots southwesterlies into the central Aleutians, and then the northerlies at about 40 knots near Iliamna Lake to Kodiak. Otherwise, the main wind areas south of the state, and 3,000 feet, 65 to 75 knot winds with that system coming in, and turbulence, southern Panhandle, occasional moderate chop, Kodiak Island, southern Cook Inlet, western Alaska Range, and from Atka westward to Shimian at 2.
It used to be that you could only warn one person about a tornado after it had already blown down someone else's barn.
Now, on average, we're able to issue a tornado warning 15 minutes before the tornado's even there, and that wouldn't be happening without Doppler radar.
This NexRad system has reduced fatalities on the order of 45% due to tornadoes since its advent.
We have a lot more information now about storms and being able to understand how they develop, how they produce severe weather, and how that information might be used to improve warnings for our National Weather Service partners.
The lab is unique in that we serve the nation by supporting the National Weather Service in its mission to protect lives and save property by improving the accuracy and the lead time of severe weather warnings.
We have a legacy of radar research and converting existing technology from military to weather purposes.
A recycled Doppler radar led to the development of NexRad, installed nationwide in the early 90s. It allowed forecasters to see storms like never before.
Not only did we help bring that technology to the National Weather Service and to help protect lives and property, but we have continued to upgrade that technology, keep it relevant, and keep it state-of-the-art.
Recently, a major upgrade was added. Dual polarization technology takes the radar from 2D to 3D. Forecasters now know more about what type of precipitation is falling, which is very helpful during winter storms, as well as how much rain is accumulating, resulting in better flash flood warnings. The radar can also detect and track tornadoes based on debris. Looking to the future, the National Severe Storms Lab is testing the capabilities of phased array radar. Originally used by the U.S. Navy, the antenna scans the skies electronically rather than mechanically, allowing the radar to focus on a storm.
With current technology, we get a full picture or image of what is going on within a storm every 4 to 5 minutes. So it's more like a snapshot. Whereas with phased array radar, we get that picture of what's going on in the storm every minute. So it becomes more like watching a movie. So we can do adaptive, rapid scanning on the storms that matter most, being able to provide the information that's most relevant when and where it's happening.
Another advantage of phased array radar is its multifunction capability, providing weather and air traffic information simultaneously.
Number one, it is a system that promises to replace and expand upon the existing weather surveillance radars. Secondly, to replace aging air traffic surveillance radars. And number three, it offers a potential application to meet Department of Homeland Security and defense requirements for identifying and tracking non-cooperative aircraft. With the replacement of all these various radars with a single system, the American taxpayer could realize substantial savings in cost.
You have a lot fewer radars to maintain, and the electronic capability of this also reduces maintenance costs because you do not have moving parts.
Not too long ago, the ability to predict severe weather was thought to be impossible. During the past several decades, research conducted at the National Severe Storms Lab has developed life-saving tools like Doppler radar. We've progressed from no warning of threatening weather to about a 15-minute lead time, and current research promises to extend that much further.
Our knowledge of severe storms and how they behave, and our use and ability to use the Doppler radar technology is in a lot of cases a direct result of that close working relationship, that research to operations component that we get between the National Severe Storms Laboratory and a forecast office.
That history and understanding of how these data can be used by our users and doing the research to help advance the use of radar technology, really it's what we live for, it's in our lifeblood, it's in our history.
It's now easier than ever to be a part of weather research. We just launched the MPing app for both iPhone and Android users, and it's totally free. PING, which stands for Precipitation Identification Near the Ground, is a research project by the NOAA National Severe Storms Lab and the University of Oklahoma. With the mobile app, you can send us your weather observations on the go. Are snowflakes falling on your head? Is hail hitting your car? Just select what type of precipitation is falling and press submit. It's that easy. It takes about 5 seconds and it's anonymous. Reports can then be viewed online. Our scientists will compare your report with what the radar has detected. This helps us develop new radar technologies and techniques. Download the app today, share your reports, and let's work together to make our nation weather ready. Learn more here and follow us.
And now, marine weather around Alaska.
I'm meteorologist Peter Chan with today's marine weather segment. And the edge of the sea ice now is going to be retreating northward as we head through the late weekend, Sunday into early next week, in response to a stronger area of low pressure that will be tracking across the Bering Sea with an occluded front. And those south and southwest winds will cause the sea ice to drift northward by about 30 to 40 nautical miles. Sunday into early next week, especially east of St. Matthew Island. Another thing to watch for is that we are expecting higher water levels than normal in portions of Kuskokwim as well as Bristol, the north side of Bristol Bay, as a result of these stronger south to southwest winds later this weekend and the higher astronomical tides due to the fact that full moon will be occurring later Sunday morning. So keep that in mind in those areas if you are there. For the southeast, Saturday's marine forecast, inner waterways 10 to as high as 25 knots with 8-foot waves at the mouth of Dixon Entrance there, just south of Ketchikan. Areas along the coast and the Gulf there, 20 to 25 knot west to northwest winds, waves 8 to 12 feet. And then on Sunday, look for inner waterways, more of a north to northwest wind, could be up to 25 knots there between Skagway and Juneau with waves around 5 feet. Over the Gulf areas, the coast there, winds of 20 to 30 knots from the northwest and waves generally running around 10 to 15 feet. South central areas on Saturday, northwest winds at Prince William Sound, 20 knots, waves 4 feet. Off the Kenai and northwest at Kodiak Island, northwest winds 30 to 35 knots, waves 7 to 11 feet, and 40 knot northwest winds at the mouth of Cook Inlet with waves up to 18 feet. On Sunday, northwest winds will dominate there, still Prince William Sound, waves around 3 feet. However, turning a bit more westerly off of Kodiak and the Kenai with winds of 25 to 35 knots. Waves anywhere from around 8 to 11 feet with 10-footers at the mouth of Cook Inlet. Across the Alaska Peninsula and Kodiak Island on Saturday, widespread northwest winds of anywhere from about 30 to 40 knots sustained with gusts up to 55 knots on the Pacific and Gulf sides, especially off of Sandy Point. And then the Bering side, 30 to 40 knot northwest winds, waves 6 to as high as 16 feet. There north of Cold Bay, winds are going to turn more to the southwest and south on Sunday ahead of that occluded front at 30 to 40 knots. Waves running 10 to 14 feet on the Gulf and Pacific sides and 6 to 13 feet on the Bering side. The Aleutian chain will start out Saturday. The eastern Aleutian, south winds of 30 to 40 knots, waves running 8 to about 13 feet. West of Adak, though, 45 to 50 knot winds and waves 20 to 25 feet. And on Sunday, as that occluded front works its way eastward, southwest winds through the eastern Aleutians of 40 to 45 knots with waves running anywhere from 17 to 23 feet. And west of Adak, waves will be running 25 to near 30 feet with 50 knot southwest to west storm force winds. Across the ice pack on Saturday, the west coast will see winds northwesterly at around 15 to 25 knots in the wake of a quick moving low pressure that quick rolls through the area tonight and early Saturday morning. Winds, though, as we go into Sunday are going to pick up from the south and southwest, especially over the open waters there. 35 to 45 knot winds, waves around 20 to near 25 feet south of St. Matthew through St. George. And also blowing snow and falling snow will occur in the west and southwest that'll lead to potentially blizzard conditions, where winter storm watches are currently in effect for portions of the west there and southwest. And then as we go into the Arctic coast, northwest winds around 10 knots on Saturday. Generally northerly winds around 15 to 20 knots, especially from Cape Lisburne south to Nome. And those winds will turn more easterly ahead of that occluded front along the northwest coast as we head through the day on Sunday, increasing as that front lifts northward across the region, upwards to 40 knots there south of Nome, with considerable blowing and drifting snow developing. And a quick check of the surface weather map. We're going to have one little low quickly scoot across southwest Alaska into the northern Gulf tonight into Saturday. More importantly, we still have some rain and snow falling there in the southeast as lingering areas of low pressure, but a stronger low will be working its way eastward across the Bering Sea, and that system will produce the stronger winds and adverse winter conditions along the west coast. Stay tuned.
These forecasts are for planning purposes only. Call 1-800-WX-BRIEF for a formal pre-flight briefing. Always file a flight plan before you go flying. The U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary urges you to leave a float plan with a friend or the harbor master before you go boating.